Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you are listening to this, you are a member of the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? I'm the Beef Man, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the great Slaptail Nation Army. And with me today, coming to us live from the Uniden, is my number 2, the Rons.
Hey, Beef Man, how are you? I see you got the Swan and you
I haven't introduced her, so we kind of do this introduction thing, and this is that time in the show when you and
he doesn't know how
I introduce you and you say hello and then I see it's my role to introduce. It's that thing, I introduce everybody else.
And then you ask him how he's doing.
And I say, Rons, how are you? And you say, fine, Beef Man.
You're saying something and you interrupt.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's...
I see how it goes. Sorry.
All right.
This again. We do again.
Ooh, a little racism there. Early on. Ron drops the racism elbow immediately.
I am not racist.
On the
I am not
Squad.
racist.
Ron, how are you though? Seriously, it's been a tough week.
Oh, tired.
Yeah,
tired.
Why is that?
Oh, working a lot of hours.
Why are you working a lot of hours?
Because people
Also
keep
with
ordering
us
stuff.
today
There we go.
Is the Swan? Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Also with us today, the monotone with a microphone, the Trailer Park Monster, the Dark Lord of Browntown, also known as Fresno, California. That's a joke. It's JD Hutchins of the Monsters Lair. Say hello, JD.
Hello, JD.
Nice job. Nicely done.
That's Swan's thing.
Nicely done. I thought I heard him in the pre-warm-ups.
How did you hear him in the pre-warm-ups?
How's that?
Well, I just came on. You're like, I'm going to let the Rons into the studio, and I heard a voice in the background. And obviously, it's not the Swan.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, JD's here with us. Is he JD or
Satan worshiper? You be the judge.
That's a good question. Since it's Christmas time, and it's a time to reflect, and our gift to the world, of course, is the Slaptail Squad. I don't know what much of a gift that is.
It's definitely a gift.
Definitely, yeah. It's all wrapped up in a pretty bow.
I thought it would be a fun time of the year to pick JD's brain. What do you think, JD?
Sounds good to me. If you guys really want to delve that deep into the darkness, I'm all for it.
Ooh, as we delve deep into the darkness, he says.
Okay.
Darker than, say, a well-digger's asshole?
Absolutely.
Well, it's
okay,
absolutely
good.
Darker than that. Okay, all right.
Darker than an impacted bowel when you remove the shit?
Probably danker as well.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow, Ron, you went right to the impacted bowel. Good memory.
Thank you.
Good memory. Okay, well, I've got a couple questions, though, right off the block, though. Excuse me. A little tickle in my throat.
That's what she said.
No.
Hey-o.
Anyhow.
Oh.
Come on, just give me something.
It's the first time you've said that in a while. And
Hi-yo.
still, hey-o.
Ron, has this ever happened to you?
You and your friend touched tubes, and your dad got real cross when he found out, but he got even more cross when your mom said he probably did that as a boy, too.
What the fuck? Wow. Someone's been playing with Mixie.
Yeah, I have to do that because nobody gives me suggestions. So I've heard that I have to keep just making shit.
No, Ron
so
gives you suggestions. He said you should change it up. Like,
and here I was thinking I was the only one that watched Letterkenny.
I love that show. Oh my God. Would you like to hear it again?
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go again.
You and your friend touched tubes, and your dad got real cross when he found out, but he got even more cross when your mom said he probably did that as a boy, too.
Oh, do you get it, Ron? Do you get it?
I don't think I've ever heard the show.
That's not what I asked you. I'm like, do you get it? Do you get what the kid is saying?
Yes.
Okay,
maybe.
Can you explain it
Can
to
you
us?
explain it?
Well, first of all, there's a guy in the studio doing a voiceover, right?
No.
No,
Oh,
like,
not that.
What is
No.
the context of that content?
You mean the penis touching?
Good job, Rons. Good job.
Yeah, usually when somebody says, "Can you explain the context of something?" Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. Since it's Christmas time, what is the most metal of all religions? Rons, go.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't.
Well, I'm not talking about of all religions that you know nothing about. I'm saying of the religions that you know. Obviously, if you don't know if something exists, you can't say that that's the most metal. It has to be of something of your knowledge. Swan, go.
What the fuck are you talking about? The most metal?
Yeah, what is the... Oh, you don't even know what that means?
Brutal.
No, apparently not.
Do you know what... You don't know what it means to be metal?
Like hard? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like cool.
Sure.
Like
that's
cool. Like
another word for cool or awesome
apparently
or freaking
that's like before
dope.
my time. You're older than me.
Okay, well, I'm also older than JD, but JD, you probably know what metal means, don't you?
I would say that I do, yes.
Okay.
Well, maybe y'all are better than
More
me.
metal than
More
you?
metal than me. Yeah.
All right. Then now that you know the context of the question, Swan, what is the most metal of all religions?
Well, I'm gonna have to go. I mean, I don't know. I want to say atheism because I don't even.
I don't know that will by definition.
I know, right?
A religion.
Well, it's.
Well, it would be considered a religion or a cult.
How is atheism a religion?
Or a cult.
Oh my
I just wanted to
God.
piss you off.
I would say for me, if given that context, would
I
be
want to know how atheism is a religion.
I mean, there's still a collection of people that believe that there is no higher religion, like a belief in nothing, right?
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
I would say for me, evangelical, because they get out there with the tambourines and then
That's
they
super
scream.
metal.
Yeah, it is super metal.
Okay.
Now that I know what that word means.
All right then.
Alrighty then.
JD, most metal of all religions.
I would definitely say Satanism.
Okay, and I will say, wait for it. Catholics.
We were waiting. What is it?
Catholics.
Oh,
Why?
Well, we can move on. I want to know why Ron thinks evangelicals are metal.
oh, they get out there, and I mean, if you've been to a Catholic service, it's quiet and pristine, rising up, sitting down, whatever. And then you go to an evangelical or a Baptist, I mean, they're just getting up, dancing and hitting tambourines and screaming and everything. Completely the opposite of quiet.
My father was raised Pentecostal. Both his mom and dad were Pentecostal preachers. And they totally did the rattlesnake situation where they handled the snakes. And if they didn't bite you, it meant you contained the Holy Spirit. That's pretty fucking metal as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I would agree. I would agree. That is just some wild, wild shit right there.
Okay. And why would you think that the Satanism is more metal than evangelical or snake holders?
I mean, we literally make all the album covers, so it doesn't get any more metal than actually being on the album covers.
I would say that there's some good points to all of that, but I would also say that the metal of Satanism and or the evangelicals is directly attributed to the fear of God placed into everyone by the Catholic Church.
So, like, Satanism is inverse of Catholicism.
No.
No?
No, what I'm saying is the teachings of the Catholic Church is so cool that inadvertently in what they teach you, they have actually interested you in the occult. They've made you interested in the occult. That is why it is more metal than all of them, because they all really are derived from the things that the Catholic Church spewed. There was no real mention of the devil until the Renaissance. And that was all done by the Catholic Church.
So, Satanism is a derivative of.
Well, not really saying that either. I'm just saying that the most metal comes out of directly from the Catholic Church making it look bad, which inversely makes young children initially scared, but eventually say, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
Like drawn to the dark side.
Sort of.
Kind of like the religious version of the parental advisories.
Elaborate.
Like Catholicism tells you, no, don't do that. That's bad. And when they tell you, no, don't do that, being a rebellious youth, you go, I'm going to fucking do that because that looks awesome. And they're telling me not to. So there must be something they're hiding from me.
Sure. Yeah.
Similarly, like the parental advisory stickers, slapping them on Eminem's album. You go to the record store, you may not know anything about Eminem, but you see the parental advisory sticker on there and you instantly know that's going to be an awesome album.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So the Catholic Church is actually pretty cool. There's just elements of it that basically suck.
Yeah, like the stand up, sit down, do this, do that, don't do this.
Yeah, it's an aerobic workout.
Yeah, except you're not realizing that there's the metal part to it. That all other cults and everything steal from it.
Okay, and what is that?
Ritual.
Oh, I am. I'm well aware of what the church has done.
Well,
I
why
do
don't you
have to
enlighten
say
us?
that
Then why
that
don't you?
drink
Then what?
blood and flesh of Christ is pretty metal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what are you saying, Rons?
Well, let's take Christmas as it approaches, how it was stolen from the pagans,
I don't think that's
and
what I'm
how it
saying.
actually was a violent holiday at one point. And what happened was Christianity could not compete. So they just literally slowly, like any other corporation, took it over until they made it their day.
They just made up baby Jesus.
They didn't make up baby Jesus, but they made up the birthday. They said he might have been born sometime in October. They couldn't pinpoint it.
Summertime.
So they picked a day.
June, July.
Yeah, June or July. But they picked a day in the wintertime, which was close to the pagan holidays. And they said, we're going to celebrate the birth of Jesus on this day. And slowly overtook that particular pagan holiday. And from there, it just kind of grew. Like the Bee Man said, like a cult following.
Actually, that's not what I said. What I said was
Yes.
that other cults take stuff directly from what the Catholics do. That's actually what I said. Like,
Basically, that
like
was
what I'm saying is what we're doing, what the Catholics do is they are all about ritual. That's actually what I said. It's interesting that people read into what I say when I expressly say something. Like, that's literally what I expressed. I expressly said they're doing rituals. And so other cults and or followings or whatever, they're also doing rituals. So you may think that you're different, but you're really not different. It's all magic. It's all, what do you call it? What's the word for it? Necromancy.
Illusion? Like, oh.
Necromancy.
Yeah.
It's all necromancy.
Or is this your card? The Three of Clubs.
Religion, the only game where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Well, yeah, the points don't matter, but you get to make certain people get to cash in. Moving on. Moving on. So what I'm saying is the fire and brimstone talk and the teachings of the devil and hell may scare you when you're little, but as you get older, you're like, that's just pretty dope. And then if you look at even further, if you look at something like the Knights Templar, you're like, damn, how cool would it be like a knight who's kicking people's asses in the name of God, but you still get to do cool shit. Religious warrior. Would have been even better though if you could have sex, because they weren't supposed to, but they did.
Oh, they totally did.
Oh, they totally did. Any particular questions for our resident practitioner of well, not really a practitioner. What would you call it, JD?
I would say what's the word for it?
Devil worshiper.
Follower?
Just kidding.
You don't really worship the devil though. Real Satanists don't worship the devil.
Well, but that's what I always thought when I was thinking of Satan.
Could it be Satan?
Yes.
You guys don't even believe in the devil, do you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so did it in did it intrigue you as a young man, like you said, because it was cool?
No, as a young man, it actually terrified me.
Okay.
It was all black magic. And I grew up in the 90s, and we had everyone telling us that it was, the reason Columbine, the reason Marilyn Manson, did his thing because he wanted to turn you to the dark side and melt your brain. And, the 90s, when I grew up, I was born in 88. So I got a lot of the mid and early 90s stuff ingrained into my brain at a young age. And come to find out years later upon researching it, it was all just continuation of the satanic panic of the 80s. And people didn't really know what they were really talking about or really researching what real Satanism was. It was all just glitz and glamour for the TV cameras and finding a scapegoat, basically.
So essentially, really, Satanists they don't believe in Satan. They don't worship Satan. They're just breakers of conformity.
Correct.
Yeah.
Satan is more of basically a metaphor for religious freedom. And we use the images and, everything attached with Satan to basically detract those that aren't looking into it deeper than just the surface level of, oh, I don't want to be a devil worshiper, essentially.
I mean, obviously there are actual religions that do believe in the devil, but that's not the main.
Correct.
But that's not the main.
Satanism is like any other denomination of any other religion. There's several different types. There is theistic Satanists. Those are more like your Church of Satan followers that follow the teachings of Anton LaVey. And then you have your Thelemic order, which is the followings of Aleister Crowley, and that's more the witchcraft wizardry aspect of Satanism. But Crowley's stuff was so insane and made up and based on more like older religions that's not even really considered Satanism. It's more of his own religion that he kind of came up with.
He has his own personal cult.
Yeah,
correct.
As Crowley is.
Associate Crowley with Satanists.
You like to take it in the ass?
Cult religion.
Power bottom, Aleister Crowley, power bottom.
Yeah.
That's how you ascend to the top tier. You got to take it in the butt. It's true. I'm not lying. You got to listen to the last podcast. You got to listen to the last podcast. Damn it, there, Swan.
You have to
things fill you in on Aleister Crowley.
Containing human fecal matter, as well as seminal fluid.
Yeah, apparently he completely regretted the whole consumption of fecal matter there.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bad idea all around.
Maybe he was trying to promote his own good microbiome. That's
gross. All I can think is the phrase "eat shit and die."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can do fecal transplants now. They've done fecal transplants for quite a while.
Yeah, that's still nasty.
Well, you don't eat it.
To answer the question that was posed in the most simple form, Satanists do not believe in a theistic Satan, nor any deity for that matter whatsoever.
Neither does the Temple of Set, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So they're the offshoot people, like where you have, like the Richard Ramirez's of the world that say they believe in devil, blah, blah, blah. They're not a part of anything. That's just their, probably an excuse, probably bullshit in the first place, because they're nutbag serial killers. But, yeah. But no. So that's what I'm saying. It's all they're doing is breaking from conformity. And why is that? Probably because the church inadvertently made shit look cool. Like the Catholic Church itself is pretty sweet if you took away the actual religion part of it. Like
a place to gather, do aerobics and drink wine and have a cracker.
That's not what I meant.
That's always sweet.
I meant like the Gothic cathedrals, the dark music,
the
purple velvet, the black drapings, all that stuff. I mean, is pretty fucking cool.
The hospital. It looks freaking cool. It's like got gargoyles and crap.
Yeah, but look at that old cathedrals. Look at like St. Patrick's Cathedral and the cathedrals over in Europe. Those are all fucking sweet.
Yeah, play dark organ music as you approach in.
Yeah, they have crypts.
So sweet, brutal, just fucking brutal.
Crypts and all that other cool shit. Oh yeah, and of course, if you imagine like all the bad girls, like I did, that would definitely turn you to it. If you've got a chick wearing dark lipstick and she's got a collar around her neck,
a little plaid schoolgirl Catholic
Sure, with
uniform.
boots. Sure, with
Yeah.
boots. Yeah, absolutely. That would make me turn to the dark side, or at least my penis turn to the dark side.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's gross.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, what's gross about it?
I don't like that. That's not the one I don't like.
Which sound don't you like?
The one that
So-
sounds like a flopping fish.
It doesn't sound like a fish at all.
Beef man.
It's gross.
Would you say for Christmas that the Swan get on a little Catholic girl outfit,
Why is
schoolgirl
your
outfit?
focus always trying to get something
You
freaking...
laid and happy? I don't know. Maybe the world needs you happy sometimes.
You know what, Ron's?
We were talking
Yeah.
about playing Foursquare with your sister, and your mom and dad looked at each other without saying anything for a real long time when you said you slammed one in your sister's box.
All right. I didn't catch all of that. What is that from?
Why does that matter? Just listen to the soundbite.
I did, but I would really like. I think it's hilarious. I'd like to see the show.
It's a show called Letterkenny, but that's the cartoon version of it called Little Kenny, and they're like 2 to 3 minute clips.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So,
Oh, and welcome JD, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Ron. Appreciate that.
also, by the way, so as Christmas time approacheth, you're, of course, I'm assuming, still celebrating Christmas.
Oh, absolutely. I have 2 young daughters. Nothing changes there.
Now, have you introduced them to the Satanism way of thinking, or have you done, well, I guess just answer the question first.
I do not try to push any views on them whatsoever. I kind of let them see the world through their own lenses. If they have questions or they have interest in it, of course, I'll answer them. But I'm not the type of parent to push my kids to be any certain way, especially religiously, when it comes to your own mind, your own thought process. I let them, kind of go their own path as long as they're not, going down something dangerous or something that's going to get them hurt or going around people that I don't really trust.
That's interesting. I had that very same discussion a long time ago with somebody because we got into it about my son. It's like, do you go to church? I'm like, no.
Who got into it? Who got into it?
Me and this other, we'll say, religious person.
We were talking about playing Foursquare with your sister, and your mom and dad looked at each other without saying anything for a real long time when you said you slammed one in your sister's box.
And I said, just basically what JD just said. I want my child to find their own way. What I believe in is not what they're going to believe in. I don't want to force them that. And they said, that's wrong. They got to go to church and get saved. I said, well, let me ask you this one question. Did your child have a say whether they had to go to church or not? So they were kind of indoctrinated into the church. And at that point, the conversation ended. Because at that point, I knew I was right. They were wrong.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
By the way, JD, don't think I haven't heard. I don't know. What's that?
You just defeated them with logic.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And JD, don't think I don't know that you've been going gay head. And here I hear the sound bites, by the way. So the B-Man's got you on this dark path. Enjoy it while you get a chance.
He's on his own path.
I'm on my own
but
dark
the
path.
B-Man's kind of the guide.
He's his own man. We haven't even known each other that long. You think I'm guiding him to become any more dark than he already was?
Well, sometimes.
Swan, can I confess a bit to you, honestly?
Sure.
I have often thought of becoming a Satanist.
Okay. I don't really care.
I just love her.
I'm
I
pretty
just love how she
sure
goes,
I was
okay.
forced into Catholic religion from a young age, and I literally had nuns come to my church house because I was terrible as a child.
Nuns are terrifying.
They are terrifying.
I'm so glad we didn't have nuns when I was a kid.
And I told them I wasn't doing it. I didn't want to go. I don't want to be part of this. I think it's bullshit. And I drew Smurfs in my, what do you call that book? Catechism book. Yep. So you can be whatever you want to.
That's the first demonic deity you start learning about as a child.
Smurfs?
Smurfs.
Gargamel. Yeah, totally.
Well, what if Gargamel was actually the good guy?
I mean, maybe he is. And Smurfs are their own little cult of happy freaking weirdos.
You know the theory on Smurfs
No, what is the theory?
is that isn't the theory that Gargamel is actually like Jewish
Maybe.
and he's trying to destroy like the Catholics or something I don't know. Isn't there some weird
there is
theory
probably
like
some
that?
weird theory. Like, aren't all the Smurfs they're like KKK members or
Well, that would be
something?
totally different because
Wow.
I don't know.
they're making Gargamel look bad.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Well, I guess if you were a clan member and you developed the Smurfs and Gargamel's a big Jewish person, I guess that would make sense.
Would it be that surprising to find out that an old cartoon from the 80s had some hidden anti-Semitism?
Absolutely not. It would definitely not be. Maybe that's why their pants are white and their hoods are white.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And like,
But why would they be blue?
I don't know. We're gonna have
Because
to
someone
like.
tried to choke them.
Because they're blue bloods?
I don't know. We're gonna have to like look that up because there's something. Then like Papa Smurf is like the cult leader and wasn't.
Yeah, Grand Dragon. You're right.
And-
He probably is the.
Yeah, and then like Smurfette, there's something weird about her too. Like she's the only woman, but I don't think she really was a woman. I don't know. Something weird.
Well,
about
that wouldn't fit.
I don't know. There's something weird about her too. But
Well, she
Well,
originally
yeah,
has.
be the only female in a bunch of male Smurfs.
Well, no, I think what it is that originally Smurfette had black hair when she was made by Gargamel.
oh yeah,
But then when Papa Smurf changed her, she had blonde hair.
yeah.
Well, that's totally some cult shit then for sure.
So probably it really is the creators of the Smurfs were probably white supremacists. And that was their little flip on it because they changed her into an Aryan.
I feel like that.
Blue
there's
is probably
something-
like a blue blood
yeah,
thing. That's
yeah.
because you're blue blooded.
I
Which
guess.
is
Or
purebred.
is it because all the Smurfs live in mushrooms and they're really just tripping their balls off, thinking that they're doing this thing that is not really occurring because they're all hallucinating?
That's possible too. But why would Gargamel want to eat Smurfs? Because that's his thing. He wants them because he wants to eat them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it would be delicious.
We're going to have to look this up now. Now we're going to have to look and see what the Smurf theory is.
Yeah.
What if, here's an interesting one to ponder. What if there is no Smurf theory, but we think that we've heard one because of that whole shared collective unconsciousness thing or whatever you call it? Mandela effect.
Wouldn't that be weird?
That would be weird. Ron, have you ever heard any Smurf theories?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that blows that theory.
You know,
But JD's on board though.
Hey, have you ever heard of Smurf theory?
Did we just birth a whole new podcast?
I think that I'm going to write that down.
yeah.
What is the great Smurf theory?
Yeah.
Smurf.
Okay, so is there? I don't know anything about Satanism. Is there like it wouldn't be a church, but a gathering place? Like I go to church.
Let me tell you, let me tell you what I think happens.
Okay.
Let me tell you why I think
Oh,
people
please,
become, let me
please
tell you
do.
why I think people become Satanists.
Okay.
And I'm basing this mostly on my own thought processes and then having my thought processes basically reinforced by Henry Zabrowski from the last podcast on the left, which is incidentally my favorite podcast. From his description, you become a Satanist essentially because you want to do things like partake in fun rituals and meet chicks who are gothy and who look hot because they're attracted to that. And that's the best way for your nerd ass to meet some hot chicks.
Okay, I could see that one.
And now JD can answer.
I would say that is, yes, definitely part of it. for some folks.
So before
Um,
meeting your wife, were you a Satanist?
No, I recently became a Satanist, to be honest.
Now, where did
What
your
was
wife's
your
interest
wife?
lie?
My wife does not hold any like really hardcore religious beliefs whatsoever. I would best describe her as probably agnostic.
Okay.
She doesn't really know what the afterlife holds, but she doesn't really care either.
So if that's the case, this is the question I always like to ask agnostics. Because they're interesting. So if that's the case, if that's how you really feel, what keeps you from doing whatever the fuck you want to do? I mean, what
I'm not
makes you
sure
like,
there's
why do you have to follow
out there.
laws, or why do you have to follow the unwritten laws or of what's considered moral and what's right?
Well, you said it right there. I would say it's the moral code sometimes.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, but
You're-
if you have no answer and you have no
Like if you're not held accountable, if you don't, I mean,
I think honestly, it's just a personal choice to not want to be an asshole. I mean, same goes for us in Satanism. I mean, we don't really have a God that we're in fear of to do the right thing. It's more a personal choice of like, let me not be an asshole today. But on the flip side, if you piss me off, you know, hell hath no fury.
good plan. Good point.
But if you don't believe in hell, how could you have fury?
Well, that's just a saying.
Oh,
Interesting. So what was your attraction then, JD? Would you just say the whole nonconformity or breaking with
That's
tradition?
part of it, yes, because I'm like a rebel since birth. Like, you know, I alluded to earlier. You tell me not to do something, that's exactly what I'm interested in now doing.
So you just burned your
So
fingers a lot as a child?
yes. But also I think it's enjoying the benefits that structured religion has to offer as far as establishing temples, having gathering places, being able to go out into the community and offer charity, but not have all the guilt and the pressure and the God fearing that comes with other religions. At least that was the attraction for me. Is like being part of this community and being part of a larger group, but you know, essentially without all the BS that comes with, like, say, being a Catholic or a Christian. And it's a personal choice, not because, oh, I better do this because if I don't, I'm going to go to hell. It's basically like a guilt free religion, is what attracted, you know, me to it.
I would say, this is because this is just my ignorant opinion is, and I kind of floated this to my brother once and I thought he was going to blow a gasket. I would say like, people who believe in things like magic and stuff.
the game or the kind of like, all right, fair enough.
No, real magic. People who believe in magic and mysticism, things like that. There's kind of, standard religion would say that there's no basis for that. However, the Catholic religion recognizes that there's weird shit out there. Whereas if you approach somebody like one of the religions that my family member subscribes to, he would say that's bullshit. There's no such thing. So I would say that what I had floated was, well, I think that you could be Catholic, but at the same time, you could be like Wiccan or Druid or something like that. Because that's not really quote unquote a religion, but it is a philosophy. So I would say actually it's kind of the same thing. You're like, well, you could have a certain basis for your belief system, but still subscribe to other belief systems.
Right. And I know the thing, at least with the Satanic Temple, like, not everyone that is part of the Satanic Temple is like following the same kind of personal, like, religious codes either. Like, even though the Satanic Temple, you know, the fundamentals of it are we don't really believe in any, like, deity. There are lots of people that do witchcraft or Wiccan, things of that nature that are in the Satanic Temple. So that's the kind of the cool thing about the Satanic Temple is, like, you know, as long as you're part of this community, this group, whatever your, like, close personal beliefs are not in conflict, as opposed to, like, maybe being a Christian and practicing witchcraft and you tell people that at church, you know, it might not go over so well.
Right. But
Oh,
but yet all that stuff is deeply ingrained with all religions.
right, which is one of my biggest pet peeves with the Catholic religion, and one of the biggest hypocrisies they have is like, oh, ghosts aren't real, especially me being interested in the paranormal. You know, ghosts aren't real, aliens aren't real. But then this is a religion that literally has exorcists that get training to exorcise demons that possess people in their very own religion. Like, okay, so which is it? Do we believe in demons? Do we not believe in ghosts?
Well, and then so they don't believe in, well, I think that they go by a play on words is what happens. So you don't believe in, quote, ghosts, but you do believe in spirits.
It was like the Holy Spirit. Okay, what
And
the
that's
fuck
not
is
just
that?
a
A
Oh,
ghost?
okay.
Well, that's not
So
even
I
that.
kind of
That's
read.
not even the only one. You can be visited by other spirits of saints and things like that. So,
Like the Ghost of Christmas Past.
but that's not quote unquote a ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's for them, it's just a play on words. They're going to say, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts. Oh, but there are spirits and there are
Right.
angels and you can be visited by them. And just like there's demons. So it's just it's a contradict. There's always these contradictions.
Oh yeah, and that's religion across the board. I mean, even the Satanic Temple has some things that are like okay, but you know, that's just what it is. I mean, religion.
Yeah, I think that mostly it's just you just have to pick and choose what you want to do. I think that the biggest thing is the appeal to some religions for the camaraderie and you just having a shared interest in everything. And the big thing is, I don't think that if I was looking at the satanic church or whatever you want to call it, is that you're probably not going out and actively recruiting people or pushing your religion on other people.
No, that's not something that we do in the Satanic Temple.
Yeah,
If
and
you want
that's
to come
what
and
that's
join and be on board, feel free. But I'm not going to go out and tell you what all the benefits are of joining the Satanic Temple, trying to convince you to join up. That's not. We don't actively seek that out.
Yeah, so that's what I find annoying about general religion is because people just want to push that agenda on you. Like, I don't really want that at all.
And if
Correct.
you
And
feel
the
the need,
more,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the more niche the religion, the more hardcore they are at recruiting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're like, oh, we don't have enough people, so let's go out there and just spread the word. And of course, part of that too is just has always been they use religion as an excuse to conquer. Honestly,
That's what I was just gonna say. We're gonna go to a third world country who doesn't believe in your religion, push it on you with the aspect of we're gonna give you food and clothes and medical care if you listen to our religion. We'll build you a school, but you have to be part of our religion. That's bullshit.
So, that brings up an interesting point there, Swan. As we start space exploration, we land on Mars. How is the parable of Jesus and religion going to relate to, let's say, the colonization of Mars or the moon? I
think
haven't
their
thought about
argument
that.
as in you think that there's people already there that we're going to talk to?
Well, no. We're going to colonize it, right? We know this. It's just a matter of when we colonize it. So how do you go? And religion, Jesus came. I mean, how do you relate to a religion on another planet?
That would only
when
matter if there were people there that we were spreading the religion to.
Yeah, if you're going there
I
yourself,
think
you
their
take whatever
argument-
religious bullshit you want to take with you.
Yeah, but there
I
are
think
going to
their-
be other
their
religious
argument for
fanatics.
that would be that Jesus created the entire universe, and Mars is just part of his grand plan and creation. And just because we're now physically, starting to be able to go there, doesn't mean that he did not create it.
Yeah, they'd probably own it somehow for sure.
They would,
Well, yeah, and then
they would boom
Uh,
flip it, and no matter what you said, they would put a spin on it because that's what they do.
that is interesting because I was thinking also the introduction of alien species that we may or may not find on other planets, microorganisms or stuff like that. So I would love to see or hear how they could relate to a book, see it happen.
Well, it's no different from us colonizing the new world where they'd never heard of Jesus and us talking about Jesus. So even if you ended up on a planet that actually had life on it, we're still going to push Jesus on them because, the theory is that advanced civilizations don't have religion. That theory.
I've never heard of that theory.
Really?
No,
Nobody else has heard of that theory?
that is interesting.
If you're a truly advanced society, more advanced than us, you don't believe in a higher power.
Right, because belief in a higher power is divisive, and advanced societies don't want to be divisive.
Yeah, just like there's no monetary system. In a truly advanced society, there's no need for a monetary system. You work for the greater good. You don't, just all concepts that we can't wrap our heads around.
Sounds like communism to me.
Yeah, and I'm all for communism. You heard it here on the Slaptail Squad.
And you welcome your robot
And I
overlords.
welcome our robot overlords. I sure do, especially if they're hot.
Yeah.
If I could get an upgraded hot robot all the time, life would be so good.
Would it look like the Swan?
No.
I was just asking
No,
Ron's
fuck no,
question.
Not even.
I was
not
just
even
asking.
buff young Swan. No. Why would I?
I don't care. I wouldn't make mine look like you either.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, Swan.
I think we asked that question before.
Ron's
Yeah,
one.
and yours would look just like powdered donut.
I just look like little powdered donut.
No,
Not
we
even-
know Ron's is like Tremonde.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's true. That's so
Also,
true.
As a side note, Gayhead is what Ron's from
he
the
starts
Slaptail
in with the-
Podcast wants Tremonde to give him.
Thank you for that soundbite.
There we go. There we go.
So now that we have you, anyway, JD, what's the update on the Monsters Lair? By the way,
Oh, Dish, please.
Monsters Lair will be relaunching in March. Don't have a specific date quite yet. I'll get that announced as soon as we get closer to it. I am adding a couple of more series alongside the Monsters Lair that will be released in conjunction with the new episodes that are coming out. One of the sample episodes of one of those new series is the Monster Reads, where I'll be reading a book about heavy metal that I've had for a while and always found interesting. Another side series that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reinvigorating the Heathen Cast with my daughters and basically doing the kid-friendly version of the Monsters Lair, where I ask them questions. And basically, it's the twisted version of Kids Say the Darndest Things. I ask them questions about paranormal. They answer them honestly, how they feel about them. I don't edit it. I don't change the answers. I don't coach them on what to say. We just see what happens.
now in the new year on your new season, have you recruited your new counterpart? Do you have somebody that's going to start doing the Monsters Lair with you?
I think the B-Man's wondering if you would invite him.
That's not what I'm wondering, Ron's. I'm actually asking him a legitimate question.
Yeah, I would love to have anyone that's interested in being a guest at any given time in the Monsters Lair. I've been trying to do that for the first 3 seasons and haven't got a lot of bites. I have had some very interesting interviews of people that did have the time. But yeah, that's always open for discussion down the line.
No, I was not buffing for myself, Ron's.
You can have Ron's if you
I
want
have
him.
a show. Yeah, you can have Ron's. We're thinking about getting rid of him.
So there you go. I'll go over to the JD side. And on top of that, I mean, Little Powdered Donut listens to the Monsters Lair and loves the occult. In fact, right now she's probably watching Urban Legends or some sort of ghost show upstairs on the TV. So she would fit right in with JD.
So your whole family can go, is what you're saying. Take them all. Take them
definitely.
all.
I said, anytime you want to dive into the lair with me, you're welcome.
That's nice of you,
Oh,
JD. 'Cause
JD,
did you
my
know
gosh.
that that's what he calls Little Powdered Donut's nether region?
The lair.
You know, I will see if I can get Little Powdered Donut to come on because she loves this
We were talking
stuff.
about
She really
playing
does.
Foursquare with your sister, and your mom and dad looked at each other without saying anything for a real long time when you said you slammed one in your sister's box.
But B-Man, to go back and answer your question more specifically, for the first episode of the new season of Monsters Lair, I'm covering the topic of the Nevada Triangle.
Excellent. Let
Are
me ask you this
familiar
question.
with the Nevada Triangle?
I've heard something of it, but you're gonna have to refresh my memory here.
Essentially, it's similar to the Bermuda Triangle. However, it is in the West Coast. And the 3 points that create the Nevada Triangle are Las Vegas, Nevada, Reno, Nevada, and my very own Fresno, California.
Aha.
Wow, I thought you were going to talk about the Alaskan Triangle.
Interestingly enough, also what he calls Little Powdered Donut's nether region.
There you go.
No, actually, I was going to ask you, JD, have you ever, and this is a subject that I always think the LPOTL guys should cover, but they never really have. Have you thought about looking into the disappearances in the national parks?
I have. That's been a very interesting topic to me for a while now. I listened to another podcast called The Astonishing Legends, which is where I first heard about the missing 411 cases and David Paulides and all that stuff that's associated with it. I also watch every like documentary that I can find about the missing 411 cases. Um, of course, my take would be a much quicker, much more concise version of it. But yes, that is something that I've looked into for content down the line.
All right, very interesting. Well, we're going to come back. We're going to do a little commercial, and we're going to pick JD's brain here a little bit more. This is where I say roll the commercial. So roll the commercial. Hey there, members of the Great Slaptail Nation. It's me, the Beeve Man, and I'm here to deliver you a message from beyond the stars about our sponsor for this episode, Swiss Navy. No matter who you love or how you love, Swiss Navy products set the bar for sexual enhancement. There's more glide, more comfort, and even products for longer-lasting pleasure. Swiss Navy has a wide range of premium products to choose from for whatever amount fills your hole, if you know what I mean. My favorite product is Swiss Navy's Silicone Lube. Get it, use it, love it, and never be dry again. Once again, that's Swiss Navy at SwissNavy.com. And in your order comments, let them know the Slaptail Squad sent you. Swiss Navy, no matter who you love or how you love. Adios, mooch fuckos. All right, and we're back. This is the part of the show where I say, all right, we're back.
Good job. Good job.
After
Okay,
the
so
commercial.
I have a question for JD. So
Awesome.
what is like? Shut up, Ron. Jesus.
Jesus.
So
No, this
Thank
isn't
you,
about
baby Jesus.
Jesus. This is about atheism.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
no, it's about
Thank you.
Satanism.
Thank you, baby
Stay on
Jesus.
topic.
Thank you, baby Jesus. It's your time.
So is there an? You said it's a temple. Is there like a service, and is it like structured and organized, like going to church? How does that typically go?
How much jizz is involved?
As much as you want there to be. No.
Well, then I don't want to come. If there's no jizz involved, I'm not going. If
You're not coming if you can't
If
come.
I'm not coming, I'm not going.
There you go.
So there are temples. They're dotted across the U.S. and also worldwide. There's some over in Europe. There's some in Canada. It's more of a gathering place. It's not so much as ritualistic, although that can be part of it. Basically, how it works: if you want to put on an event, you contact your local temple, you get it organized. If they, give you the okay, you go and have your event at the temple, and anyone that is a member of the temple is obviously invited. We do have membership cards, so I am literally a card-carrying member of the Satanic Temple, and that's kind of how it works. The events vary. It could be, talks, could be discussions, could be potlucks. I've seen many potlucks going on. It could be rituals. As I mentioned earlier, there are people that are involved with the Satanic Temple that are Wiccans that do practice certain types of magic rituals or cleansing rituals. A lot of times there are a lot of like tarot readings that take place for members. But yeah, it all varies. It's not as structured as like your normal theistic religions. But there are events and services and things of that nature that do take place.
Here's my fear about going. If I was to attend, one, I feel that immediately they would try to elect me their leader.
I feel like
Well, aren't you already the
Recognizing
great
me.
leader of us?
Recognizing me as a Sith Lord, they'd probably want me to lead them all.
Well, I mean, man, it's not unheard of. You are dripping with absolute charisma.
That's true. Second problem I might have is I would have such high expectations of sporting wood the whole time. And if I go there and there's a bunch of algos and they're not dressing hot, I would probably be really upset.
Yeah, but you could change that as the leader.
I mean, that's two fears, Ron's. What
Yeah, but you
one
can
might not
change
happen
that
for the
fear
other.
into a positive.
Jay, let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
if I was to convince the Swan that that's something that she should attend and become a Satanist, is there a possibility that she would start to look hot?
I'm not touching that one with.
Good answer, JD. Does my ass look fat in these pants?
JD, really? You just really wouldn't go out on a limb and try it out, huh? You just really, you chickened out. You became completely ballless. Is that what you're saying?
As a married man, I'm not answering that question either way because no matter how I answer that, I'm in trouble. So
Fine.
You thought he was going to take your side, didn't you?
Well, I mean, I feel like there should be some sort of a dress code recommendation if you
I
were
will
going to be a
say
member.
the goth aesthetic, to me personally, automatically makes any female 10 times hotter right off the bat.
Me too, and I don't know why I don't know why I never just hit on those girls or tried to date them. The closest I got was Swan would wear eyeliner on a regular basis, and that's about it. And yet she's one of the biggest prudes I've ever known.
The only
Sad.
problem there, Beef Man, is just always remember the army does not recognize Satanism as a religion.
Yeah, I heard that. They probably do now. They didn't used to a long time ago.
Yeah, didn't they just get past that you can have I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I am, that you can actually get recognized as a Wiccan
Rons, I don't know if you
and
know
get
this.
that on your tombstone.
Rons, I don't know if you know this, but I think JD is just doing a callback to one of our previous podcasts where I told a story about that.
Okay.
So you could just check.
And
the
you were
box.
there.
Yeah, he was there, but he
You were
wasn't.
there, Rons, for that podcast.
Is there a check mark for
I was.
other? You could check other. Catholic, Baptist, whatever, or other.
You don't have to do any of
I
it.
know, I'm just kidding.
It's just it was a callback to a podcast.
I know,
that we did, folks.
I'm aware.
I just feel like
I mean, from what I understand about the modern army, all you really have to do to get anything you want is just say they hurt your feelings, and they will change their entire policy.
I will not comment on that, although I do have a right to do so because I was in the military. However, if you were not, I always recommend nobody comments on it.
Yeah, I wasn't. So if I start making comments like that, I'm totally speaking out of school. And thanks to Letterkenny, that's not something that I now do.
Exactly. I think you should marinate on that. Rons, when you were in the Air Force, did you
You and your friend touched tubes, and your dad got real cross when he found out, but he got even more cross when your mom said he probably did that as a boy, too.
Is that what happened when you were in the Air Force?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time.
That's what I assumed.
He
And
called
we learned
them-
that from the Army.
You called them
No, you most really
hoses.
didn't. You
We
most
learned
really
that from
didn't.
the Army.
Yeah, you know what will never work out for you?
What?
Is Air Force trying to talk to shit to any other branch of the military. It's never going to work out for you.
Yeah, no, I would beg to differ, but that's the Army way.
How would you beg to differ? What, in what respect is the Air Force hard in comparison to the other armed forces?
Oh, well, first of all, we have to call down for room service, and room service is not available. We get upset.
So you're busting on your own self now.
Yeah. That's kind of tough.
I mean, do you have the Army-Navy football game? No.
No,
you
because it's
don't.
not the Army-Navy football team.
Yeah, but does anybody care about the Air Force football team?
Yeah, actually they do.
I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah,
They
is the
did.
Army Air Force or the Navy Air Force game as big of a deal as the Army Navy game?
Yes.
No, it's not.
No, only to the people that were in the Air Force, maybe.
No, it's a big game.
Did you watch it? Do you ever watch it?
I'm not a football fan.
What does that have to do with it? You were in the Air Force. I'm not a football fan either, and I watched the Army Navy game.
That's you, right? I
So
am
it's
not
again, it's not a
a
big
football
deal.
fan.
I would
I'm a
not
football
recommend
widow.
watching the Army Navy game because they only run the option and the wing T formation. No one wants to watch that shit.
Yeah, well, this is what I think of the Air Force.
Hot, man! I'm bleeding!
Yeah?
Do you have any more questions for JD?
No, because he wouldn't answer the question that I was most interested in. Would becoming a Satanist actually make Swan hot?
Just say yes, JD, and then
You
you'll
say
like.
no.
I will
So
once again state that I personally think that the goth aesthetic instantly makes any female more hot.
so the answer is yes.
Yes.
He's like,
Now, when you're a member of these gatherings, are you sporting wood half the time that you're there? Because if you're not, then I don't know if I want to go.
I mean, I'll be honest, half the time I'm sporting wood no matter what. If the direction of the wind changes, I'll probably be sporting wood.
Well, you're still young, but we got to think of the beef man who's, who will be 50 here in like 3 months. So we got to think of the beef man. Would the beef man be sporting wood typically at said gatherings?
Do you like corsets?
I do. I mean, I don't personally wear them. I probably should have one for myself.
Do you like them on larger, thicker women?
Sure. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
can I tell?
Sure, go ahead.
It
Go ahead.
doesn't matter if you're thick or thin or fit or not if you rock it.
That's true. That's how the beef man feels.
It's fact.
If you rock it,
It is fact.
I'll probably sport some. I'll probably have a tiny tent.
Was that what you were going to say?
It's true. Yeah, that is what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Finally, you listen.
I got it.
Swan.
I got it.
Finally, the swan listens. And now you understand.
Beef man, are you familiar with Black Craft, the clothing brand?
Black Craft?
Black Craft.
I am not. Should I be looking it up?
Okay.
I'll have
When
to look
you
it up.
get free time, throw that in your Google machine. And if you like that aesthetic, they are pretty much hand in hand with the Satanic Temple. But yeah, that's the majority of the aesthetic that you'll see at the gatherings.
How
Now,
about
of course,
this?
not everyone in the Satanic Temple rocks the goth aesthetic. There's people that look like normies as well that are still members of the Satanic Temple that will show up in their polo shirts and their khakis. There's no real dress code or specific style that you have to adhere to, and that all goes hand in hand with the beliefs of the Satanic Temple. Come as you are, how you're comfortable being.
So, Swan, since there's pretty much no chances of us ever going back to corporate America, even though weren't, quote unquote corporate America.
Uh-huh.
In other words, we're never going to step back foot in an office.
Yes.
What happened if in another year and a half, when baby Swan moves out and she goes to college, what if we just became full on dark lords? What do you think? If we just full on embraced that lifestyle?
Okay. I'll take it into consideration.
I feel like you would.
The only real question you have to ask yourselves before joining the Satanic Temple is, can you adhere to the tenets?
So I guess explain more.
Do you rock? Because I rock. So, I mean.
I can lay them out for you if you guys
Oh,
want.
please do. Please do. Please do.
Yes.
Okay. So the Satanic tenets for the modern Satanic Temple are: one should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason.
Okay.
We good there?
I mean, does that mean you can't kill things? Because if that's the case, I'm already out.
Like you
in
can't
accordance
hunt?
with reason.
Oh, okay. Well,
If you're killing someone in defense of yourself or others,
I mean,
that's
hunting.
reasonable. Are you hunting to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like he's hanging it on the wall.
Then to me, that's within reason.
Oh, okay. All right then. I mean, I also enjoy killing it, but that's not the point.
Number two.
I mean, I do
the
get
struggle
twitchy if I don't kill
for-
something every year.
I mean, that comes with military training, right?
I guess. Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
so
yes,
it's
it
within
does.
reason.
Yes,
So
it
there you
does.
go.
It comes with my military training. Next tenet.
The struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, that's reasonable.
The main example of that right now is the activism that the Satanic Temple is doing to reverse the Roe v. Wade decisions as of late and offer aid to women who are seeking abortions in states that cannot get them.
Okay, I'm in.
That's become a huge topic of discussion as of late.
As well it should.
As well as the third tenet, which is this one: one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone.
Yep. That's in complete keeping. Absolutely. So, in other words, my mother could never be a member.
I don't think she would want to be.
I'm just saying, she couldn't be. She kind of looks like a witch. I used to think my mom was a vampire.
Better?
I used to think my mom was a vampire, actually.
Really? Why?
You'd have to see pictures of my mom when she was younger.
Okay.
She has
Is
the dark,
food
evil
better?
look.
I'm going to ask the question again. Is the food better
Do you want to ask a question?
on the other side? I mean, Catholicism, all you get is wine and cracker.
Have
Is
you
the
been to
food
a
better?
Catholic potluck?
Yeah.
What are you talking
No.
about? Oh,
I've been to their fish fries, but,
also
that's
good.
different.
That's also good.
But, I'm wondering if the food's better.
Continue with the tenets, JD.
atheism. Yes. If the food is better.
Shut up, Rons.
Tenet number 4, the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own.
Yep, totally. It sounds like I'm already
I
in.
mean, don't push
Sounds
your
like I'm
bullshit on me
already.
yet.
Are you
I mean,
sure? See, I'm afraid I'm going to show up and they're going to ask me to lead them.
I don't.
I mean,
I think that's
there's no other tenet in any of these that better expresses the Slaptail Squad than the freedom to offend.
Clearly.
Could it be Satan?
It very well could be. Any other tenets?
Tenet number 5.
Oh, here we go.
Belief should conform to our best scientific understanding of the world. We should take care never to distort scientific facts
Damn.
to fit our own views.
Why am I not already doing
maybe
this?
we just didn't know that.
Did we not know that we were already Satanists?
Yeah.
Continue.
Tenet number 6. People are fallible. If we make a mistake, we should do our best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused.
Oh, absolutely. I do agree that you people are fallible and that when you make mistakes, you should correct them.
Yeah, because you never make mistakes like hitting record or erasing our shit.
Moving on to the
Moving
next
on.
thing.
Anyway.
Tenet number 7, the final tenet. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word.
Read that one again.
Tenet number 7. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Yep, I agree. I thought it was saying that the written word was key, and I was like, what? Fuck no. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that one, too. I think that Swan, we might have already been.
We just didn't know it yet.
See, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to show up, and they're going to elect me their exalted ruler. And they didn't even know they needed one until I show up.
I was going to say, do they actually have a...
Well, they wouldn't know until I show up.
Oh.
And then they'll be like, oh, shit, it's him. We didn't even know.
But I want to say there is a satanic temple already established in Michigan.
Well, of course, we have all kinds of shit in Michigan. We have way more shit than most people think we have. We have shitloads of cults here in Michigan that have been around for decades.
Yeah.
We have all kinds of stuff. Shoot, this is where... Isn't this where the Seventh-day Adventists were created?
I don't know.
Isn't that what Kellogg was a part of? Isn't that where that is?
I don't know.
Anyway, we have all kinds of crazy shit.
JD said something and you missed it because you were talking over him.
Please, what did I miss?
No, I was just stating, several states, the bigger the state, some of them have multiple temples, like out here on the West Coast in California. We have like a temple in the Bay Area as well as LA. Because, never shall the two sides meet. But yeah, I'm fairly certain that TST Michigan is already established.
All right. One final question for me personally. Is there a ban on sun worship with the Temple of Satan or with Satanists? In other
Not that
words,
I'm aware.
am I required to be pale? Because if that's the case, I will have to decline. I got to have my sun.
No.
Okay, then.
Being pale is not a requirement.
There we go. Temple of Ra all day long. There you have it. Actually, I don't know if Ra is the sun god. I don't know. I can't remember. Not up on my Egyptian mythology. All right, then. Swan, we might have already
I mean,
been.
my interest is definitely peaked because that's.
Swan, we might have already been.
I know. I'm anti-Catholicism, so I mean,
Well, Catholicism is pretty dope. It's just got things that's
no,
kind of wrong with
I'm
it.
not a fan.
If it wasn't for Catholicism,
okay.
would you find the Temple of Satan or Satanism interesting? Think about it.
I mean, I can see your point. My anti-Catholicism is leaning me towards liking Satanism. Yeah, so yes, I guess. Thank you, Jesus.
Well, I didn't say there was a problem with Jesus.
Okay.
I was saying specifically the Catholic Church.
Right.
You can't fault Jesus. Jesus had awesome abs.
He did. I want those Jesus abs.
He's a skilled carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
He can make food out of nothing.
He can turn water into
And
wine.
he probably had awesome
Jeez.
hair. Let's face it.
He probably did.
And he was a brown man. He was definitely not white.
Hmm.
Although Ron still thinks he was white.
No,
And
not
he probably
really.
had a harem of women too. Even though
Yeah,
you know,
that I do believe.
Probably. I mean, with abs like that?
right?
Hell yeah, he was. Probably had like giant guns too if he was a carpenter.
And a big schlong.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't, no, he was
Definitely-
circumcised.
yeah,
probably.
was he?
He had to
I
have the
don't know.
bris. He had to have a bris, yeah. Yeah, so it probably didn't look like an anteater. For sure. I'm not sure how necessary it is for us to be talking about Jesus' penis. But that's what you get with the Slaptail Squad. We go that way. We go that route.
Ron wants to go that way.
Sure, why not? Give me a bus ticket. Runway.
Also, as a side note, gay head
Oh.
is what Ron's from the Slaptail Podcast wants Tremonde to give him.
And why is that?
I don't know how the JJ works.
Exactly.
There you go.
Sorry, were you saying something, JD? Apologize.
The only thing I would venture a guess on regarding Jesus is that he was totally into men. I mean, who else surrounds themselves with 12 apostles?
Well, you know what? I think that's an easy route to go. However, I would pose this additional question. I think that it was much easier back then to surround yourself with men because at that age you were not going to marry until you were not at a marriageable age until the age of 30.
No, 13.
No, not in Jesus's time. Age of 30 is when he was supposed to getting married. That's when you leave your family and then you can go off to become, get married. The girls could get married early, but men, it was 30 to 33 time frame. That's why it was unique that's when that happened to be the same time when he, started his journey as a prophet and then, subsequently died. But who knows what was actually true and what was not. I personally believe Jesus was an actual person. That's just me. All right, then. Well, Swan, takeaways from all this?
We're gonna do some research.
Swan's not going to do any research.
You're gonna do some research.
Swan will do no research.
You're right.
whatsoever.
I probably won't. You're right.
Definitely check it out. Go to tst.com, read the facts, read everything about it.
Stop pushing your
That's
shit
all
on
I
us,
can-
JD.
Yeah, JD.
God. You're just totally violating the whole thing now.
Okay, so can you bring
Don't
it?
push your shit on us, all right?
Yeah, don't put your shit on us.
Jesus.
But can you
We're
bring
our
a
own people.
guest to your temple
Yes.
so we could be JD's guests?
Well, you'd have to go to Fresno.
Well, road trip.
Road trip? It's 2,000 miles away.
That's why it's called a road trip.
Yeah. Rons, do you want to go?
Sure, why not? I got nothing better to do.
All right, let us know how
All
it
right.
went. Hi-yo!
Yo!
Let us know how your trip went. All right.
Once you become a member, it's also possible to create your own congregation. So you can-
Ooh. The Temple of Slap.
Go.
Yeah. Got a nice ring
There's
to it.
also independent, nomadic temples out there. The first one, of course, that comes to mind is Satanic Delco, which is an independent satanic temple that
Fascinating.
allows members from all across the nation.
Swan, if you did this,
Mm-hmm.
would you tell your grandma?
I mean, my grandma wouldn't judge. Pretty sure she
Would
wouldn't.
you tell your grandma? Or
Sure.
would you just withhold it because you assume she's going to die in the next 5 years?
Stop. My grandma's going to live till baby Swan turns 21. So
I
she's
said 5
definitely.
years.
She's not going to be 21
I
in
said
5 years.
She most certainly will.
Crap. Shit. She might. But I feel like I could tell my grandma. I mean,
How about your aunt?
cute little grandma doesn't judge. I
How
mean,
about your aunt?
sure. My aunt supports me in whatever I do.
But would she?
Yes.
Would she if you always wore black lipstick and
Yes.
tall leather boots?
Yeah, and UA might think that's hot too.
Well, that's not right.
It's not, but it would. He would.
That's not the right thing.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Can you fault him? I mean, he's
Yes, because he's your uncle.
so what? He's
You and your
still
friend touched
cool.
boobs, and your dad got real cross when he found out, but he got even more cross when your mom said he probably did that as a boy too.
Exactly. Well, thanks. I really appreciate it. Any TV recommendations this week, Swan?
I don't know. I don't think so. Do you have any?
I do. Letterkenny.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I've not watched that. So.
Letterkenny and Little Kenny on Hulu. Highly recommend it. If you have the Beefman sense of humor, it's freaking hilarious. If you don't have the Beefman sense of humor, you might watch it and go, what the fuck is this all about? Canadian TV, which the Beefman likes. Very good. JD, anything that you would like to say? Would you like to promote yourself, promote your stuff, promote your network? How about your network? JD, everyone.
Or Satan worshiper. You be the judge.
Yeah, definitely check out the Myriad Podcast Network. It's a new network that I and a few of my podcasting friends have established. We are accepting and recruiting new members to join us in the network. And check out all of our individual podcasts. Mine, of course, is the Monsters Lair. My friend Polly Manners hosts the Bearded Breed podcast, which is all about nerd culture. He talks a lot about D&D, music, movies, etc. And then we have my friend Brandon Davis, the host of the Nerdsman Presents, the Dark Knight podcast. You can probably guess what that's about. And we have my friend Zach the Jackal, who hosts a podcast called Abyss's Realm, which is all about extreme metal and underground bands that he finds and brings to people's attention, and basically discusses the merits of extreme metal.
Fun. Cool.
Sounds like a cult recruiting guide. Sort of like us. You must listen to us.
I cannot confirm nor deny those accusations, Ron.
Love the awkward silence.
Yeah. Also, by the way, we're gonna have to talk to Tremonde, as JD has volunteered to join us for the spelling bee and be our moderator.
Oh, fantastic.
Excellent.
So I don't know if we're gonna have JD pick the words.
Mhm.
We'll have to talk to Tremonde, because I feel like Tremonde doesn't want to participate in the spelling bee. He wants to make fun of us, but it was his idea, so I think he has to participate.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, a spelling bee, you go until you get eliminated. So the more we have, the better.
Sure, but they have to be obnoxious words. I don't think that they should be words that you would expect to hear the Slaptail Squad attempt to spell.
Right.
Not something, like tributary, something stupid like that. Who cares about that?
Right.
Or like stuff like, perianal fistula, something like that. I know
Clitoris.
that's 2 words, but that was the obvious one for me
I
to
know.
say. That's why I didn't say it.
I know.
Swan.
Well,
Have some imagination.
I did. I think.
You gotta throw words in there like huge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
huge.
That one's important. Okay then. Well, that's my pick for this week. And also, of course, shout outs to the boy on Twitch TV. Skylar Creates at Twitch TV. You can check him out multiple times during the week. And of course, you can catch his videos on Twitch.
Shout out to your Croatian son.
Sorry, my little Croatian boy. Strange Loop, also on Twitch TV. That's Strange_LOOPE. And of course, Swiss Navy Loop. All right, well, that's it for me, the Beef Man. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Merry Christmas. I think we got one more podcast before Christmas. Actually, it'll probably come out on Christmas Day. Because Christmas is Sunday, right?
I
It's
don't
on
know.
Sunday. You are a bad Catholic.
I am.
Guess you should be
Satanist.
probably.
Probably should.
Okay,
So,
well,
B
yeah.
man, I guess, how would you
I was
punish?
just about to say goodbye.
Oh,
Just
okay.
say adios.
I was
He's
gonna
gonna
say,
make
how
something
will you-
creepy. Let him make his creepy little statement real
No,
quick.
no.
Nope,
I'll
just
let it
go ahead.
Just
Nope.
gonna say adios.
I will not be
muchachos.
there.
Bye
Say,
from the Swan.
we're just gonna say adios, muchachos.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
JD, anything from you?
Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, and
Kwanzaa?
remember to always hail Satan.
Stay safe. It's a crazy world out there, motherfuckers.
Is that it?
That's all he's got.
Yeah, it's it.
Okay.
I guess so.